Hi, my name is Mimi Curry, and I want to share with you 5 keys to Radiant Bliss. And to begin with, I want to share the idea of Radiant Bliss. That comes from a Sanskrit word or term, Anand Prakash, which directly translates to bliss light. And the concept behind this bliss light is that once we step into our natural well-being, we can't help but emit a glow about us. And I want to help you reach that natural state of well-being where you're also radiating that glow about you. So the first thing I'd like to share with you is law of attraction. And law of attraction states that whatever it is we are putting out into the universe is sure to respond back with like. And I think that in the last few years, that's become a really common term, and people are more and more familiar with it. And that is fantastic. But I think also that something's been lost in it, and there's this idea of we just have to think happy thoughts, and if we just keep thinking happy thoughts, then certainly happy things are bound to happen. And that is part of the process, but it's not the whole of the process. Excuse me. And I'll even go so far as to say that the most important part of the process is how you feel. So if you're at home and I feel happy, I'm happy, I love my wife, I love my kids, I love my dog, you can see that the energy I'm putting out is very closed off. That there's nothing happy about what I'm doing except these words that are coming out of my mouth. But we are all vibration. We are all energy. And if you're putting out the energy of I am happy, what you're really putting out is I'm closed, I'm scared, and I'm angry. And the universe doesn't it doesn't speak in English. Or if it, and maybe it does, maybe it speaks in all languages, but what it's predominantly hearing back is the vibration that you're putting out, the feeling that you're putting out, the overall feeling. Like when you walk into a restaurant and you say, "Oh, I love the vibe of that restaurant," meaning you love the decor, you love the people that tend to come in, you love the music, you love the smell of the spices. When you say vibe, it's kind of that complete package. When you say, I love the vibe of that place, it's tying it all up in a nice, neat little bow. So you want to just begin, if this is new to you, to look at your thoughts, look at your actions, and look at your feelings. And consider the complete package, and know that it's the feeling that the universe is responding to the most. So you want to check in with how you're feeling, and certain thoughts are going to produce certain feelings, certain actions are going to produce certain feelings. And you want to begin to get in touch with that. And notice after you do something, how do you feel? And where is the feeling placed the longest? Like maybe it feels good for 5 or 10 minutes, but does it feel good for hours afterwards? Or was there just a quick body sensation of feeling good, and then the mind takes over and there's a dip in how you feel? And you want to notice that. And the more you begin to notice it, the more you can consciously choose your actions to produce better feelings in the future. So I invite you to start stepping into how do you feel? How do you feel? How do you want to feel? And how do you feel? The second key ingredient to Radiant Bliss is stepping out of a triangle that we're probably all familiar with at some level, and that's the victim, abuser, hero triangle. And what I want to offer you is that if there's one of those aspects of the triangle that you relate to, whether it's victim, whether it's hero, whether it's abuser, that if you relate to one part of that triangle at different times in your life, you're another part of the triangle. Maybe you relate more to one part of the triangle, but there's probably other times where you're other parts of the triangle also. So the victim part of the triangle, to step out of the victim, many people think that the abuser has to stop first and then the abuser or the victim can change. And it's not the case. The victim can step out of the triangle first, and then the abuser has nobody to abuse. So, and once you step out of any one part of the triangle, you can also allow your whole triangle to collapse, and you don't have to play the game anymore. In stepping out of the victim role, there's 3 ways to step out of the victim role. One is to physically remove yourself from a situation. The second is to say no. Presence your feelings, presence your needs. Say no more. Say no more. And or how you would like the situation to be changed so that you're not feeling like a victim anymore. And the third is sometimes you can change a situation through your own silence. Maybe as it is right now, there are certain jokes people make about you that you laugh about. And maybe it's an uncomfortable laugh because you're not really comfortable with what they're saying. And to slowly allow people to start changing what they're saying, you can just be silent instead of laugh along with their jokes. We're always teaching people how to treat us. And so when they say something that makes you feel less than and you laugh, that shows them that it's okay to treat you that way. Shoot, you think it's funny. It encourages them to keep teaching you to treat you that way. So your silence creates an uncomfortableness that is beneficial in that the other person doesn't want to be uncomfortable. So the next time they'll choose to treat you different. Or if not the next time, say you've been hanging around these people for a long time, they've been making these jokes for a long time, they might not get it the first time. You might have to be silent a few times. And of course you can always choose to say something, that really makes me uncomfortable, that makes me feel less than. And I'd appreciate it if you didn't make those kind of jokes anymore. So the 3 ways to step out of being a victim are to physically remove yourself from a situation, speak your truth, speak your needs, speak your feelings. Say, when I feel this way, and I would like for you to try to treat me this way, and see if you can't come to an agreement in how you can be treated. And third is to remain silent instead of maybe joking along with the situation. The other easy part of the triangle that I think people can begin to relate to is to be a hero. And a hero, of course, in life-death situations, thank God for heroes, and we all need to be heroes, and we need to be heroes of our own stories. But we don't want to be heroes of other people's stories. We want to allow them to be their own heroes. So while we might give perspective and give multiple perspectives to a friend going through a problem, and certainly listen to their problem and be present with them and honor what they're going through. We don't want to run in and pick them up and pick up the phone and make the phone call for them and set up the appointment and do all their action steps. What that does is it teaches the person that they're not capable themselves of handling the situation, that they need somebody else to come in to fix it for them because they are not capable. And the truth of that situation is the person going through the experience is the only one that is capable of making the choice. They're also the only one that's going to live the results of that choice. So you want to honor that each person has their own history, and only they know every aspect of that history. And each person has their own future that they want to live into. And only that person knows all the nuances of that future that they want to live into. And because each person knows the most about their own experience, they are the ones most qualified to make their own choices. You want to empower them to make their own choices. They are the only ones that get to live their results, that get to live their consequences. Yes? So, of course, in that same note, it goes for me and it goes for you, that we are the ones that are the best qualified to make our own decisions. We have the past experience of the choices we've made before. We know where we've come from. We know where we want to go. So I invite you for the second key to Radiant Bliss is to let go of the victim, abuser, hero triangle. Allow your friends that maybe you've been heroing in the past, allow them the dignity of making their own choice. So for the third key to Radiant Bliss, as you're going through this process of catching your thoughts, catching your feelings, catching when you're a victim, catching when you're a hero, when you're an abuser, catching all these different things, no judgment. No judgment. You don't want to judge yourself for these things. When you judge yourself, again, you contract. When you love yourself, you expand. So when you contract, there's no space for transformation. There's no space for change. There's only space for self-criticism. And then the next time the opportunity comes around to maybe do something different, you don't choose it because you are in that space of not good enough, not worthy enough, of judgment. So as you go through this process, you want to release all judgment and just love yourself in the moment. I recently experienced this hands-on. I got into that. There's that Thanksgiving to New Year's here in the U.S. where just kind of everything seems to fall apart with diet and discipline and everything, and hibernation. Maybe it's winter time all around the world, and we just kind of tend to slack off at everything. And I teach a yoga class in the morning, and prior to Thanksgiving, I was getting there 20 minutes early. And after Thanksgiving, I started slipping in by the hair on my chinny chin, and it bothered me. I didn't like it. Every week I felt anxious in traffic. I would start most of my classes with, "I'm sorry I was late." And I felt rushed, and I felt anxious, and I felt stressed before I ever even got there. And I was thinking one morning last week, the beginning of the new year, what's a good thing to talk about. I usually pick a little topic, and we talk for a few minutes before class physically begins. And I thought, be gentle with yourself. I want to talk, everybody's made these New Year's resolutions, and we want to be gentle with ourselves as we try to change our lives. It's only through being gentle with ourselves that we can begin to change our lives. So I got ready to get in the car, and I thought about this. Oh gosh, I've been late, and I don't want to be late. I don't want to get in just in time, a minute and a half before class. And then I thought, yeah, you know what? And I also don't want to be there 20 minutes early. I don't need to be there that early either. So I thought, I'm going to leave at the same time I normally do. Maybe I didn't have much choice in that. But I did choose that I wasn't going to judge myself in that process. And I was just going to see, how does it feel to leave at the same time I've been leaving, but choose no judgment. Choose love instead. Love myself for showing up to teach this yoga class at a community coffee shop. Just for the wanting to share something that I love. So I went through the traffic. I didn't feel any anxiety. I was not frustrated by all the cars on the road. I just kept driving my pace. Got there when I got there. And I thought, yeah, I would like to be here 5 minutes earlier than this. And I can do that. I don't want to be here 20 minutes earlier. And this isn't enough time, and I'd like to be here 5 minutes earlier. So I didn't make it the next class. I wasn't 5 minutes earlier. I'm still in that habit of, at 7:30, I'll be ready to get out the door. And I loved myself anyway. And not even anyway, to even say anyway. I loved myself through it. And maybe next class I'll be there 5 minutes earlier. And maybe not. But either way, as I love myself, I create the space for myself to be able to change. Whereas if I beat myself up, I just stay in the problem. I just stay contracted, small, and don't create the space for growth. If I'm constantly telling myself how bad and how wrong I am, that's not motivation to grow. It's more justification for staying small. So release judgment and be gentle with yourself. The fourth key to Radiant Bliss is to expand what it is you love. Look for what it is you love. A friend of mine has a great quote, and that is, look for the sparkle in every scene. Wherever you are, there's somewhere to focus your attention that feels good, and focus there and expand that. So many times we get stuck in the problem and look at the problem and how and why and where and where, I have to understand every aspect of the problem, and then maybe I can go on, look at this problem, oh my gosh, And you can see that that energy is just bringing me down, 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 down. Whereas if you see the problem and you start to look up for what is it that I love? What do I want to reach to? And start to focus where you want to reach to, instead of, oh my gosh, this is horrible, look at this problem, what's the how, the when, the where, the why, I'll never get it all figured out. Well, actually, you probably won't ever all get it figured out. It is a rabbit hole you're just going to keep digging yourself down into when you why. So it's an Einstein quote that speaks of, you'll never solve the problem at the problem level. You only solve the problem at the solution level. Another way to look at it is, if you're climbing up a ladder, you're wanting to let go of bad habits. You're wanting to let go of bad patterns. And instead of thinking, oh, I have to quit drinking, I have to quit drinking, I have to quit drinking, I don't want to drink so much, I'm drinking way too much. Instead of allowing your mind to stay there, go to, well, if I'm not drinking, then I have time to spend having honest connections with my friends. I get to spend time working on my body. I get to go ride my bike and feel refreshed. I get to go jogging. I get to do my yoga. So focus your mind on where it is you want to go, as compared to what it is you want to leave behind. So focus on the positive of where you're going, as compared to the negative that you're leaving behind. And the last key to Ingredient Bliss I want to share with you is coming into your body. And that's simple. So let's just do a little exercise of coming into our bodies right now. So I want you to get comfortable. Just take a moment and get comfortable in your chair. Notice your weight. Equally distribute your weight. Distribute it equally on each sit bone or cheek, as it were. Close your eyes and come into your body. Take a nice long inhale through your nose and exhale out your mouth. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out your mouth. Inhale all the way down to your hips. Inhale. Exhale. Now inhale all the way down to your toes. Inhale. Exhale. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes and come back into the room. Many times when we're faced with different circumstances that are uncomfortable to us, there's an essence of us that just leaves the body. We don't feel the body. And the body gives us really important feedback. Again, when we're looking to how are we feeling and what's the vibe, we can get that information from our body. We can get our information from how contracted, how expanded do we feel in any given situation. So a lot of times when we encounter a stressful situation or a painful situation, there's an essence of us that leaves the body. And if we can get in those uncomfortable situations and stay in the body, then it is more likely for us to have the tools and the wherewithal and the access to make a better choice, to make a better decision. So you want to be connected to the information your body has to give you. It's very important. So the fifth key to Radiant Bliss is just being inside your body. So I want to run through the 5 keys to Radiant Bliss for you one more time. The first one is using the law of attraction. Number 1 being the feeling that you're putting out, while also noticing your thoughts and noticing your actions, and particularly how your thoughts and actions lead to certain feelings. Second key to Radiant Bliss is stepping outside the victim, abuser, and hero triangle and allowing others the dignity to make their own choices and teaching others how you want to be treated through your willingness to say no, your willingness to leave a situation, or your willingness to be a stand for yourself and not laugh at jokes that make you feel small or less than. The third key to the Radiant Bliss is releasing judgment and showing yourself the love, the unconditional love, and the compassion. And as you share that with yourself, you can't help but start to share it with others around you. Fourth key for Radiant Bliss is focus on where it is you want to be. Focus on it and get clear on it. Instead of looking down at what it is you want to release, look up where it is you want to go. And the fifth key to Radiant Bliss is being present with your body, coming inside your body and staying with your body and honoring the feedback that your body is giving you in any given situation. So I really hope that there's something you take away from this, and I hope for you to walk and be your Radiant Bliss. And if you feel there's any way that I can be a part of your walking into your Radiant Bliss, I would love to be a part of it. You can go to my website at www.beradiantbliss.com. B as in being, B-E, radiantbliss.com. And I wish the world to walk into their Radiant Bliss. And then we will know the peace that we're all striving for. World peace, inner peace, peace, a piece of pie, world peas, all the pieces that feel so good. And authentic power, coming into your own authentic power, is part of that Radiant Bliss that we are coming into the knowing that we are the co-creators of our experience, and beginning to uncover some of the places that we live from, and making new choices through awareness and unconditional love for ourselves. So I love you, And thank you so much for listening. And I wish you all the best in your path to Radiant Bliss. Love.